Hello guys and welcome back to some Frosti-Town. Today I will be starting and opening a brand new series, brand new playlist, which is going to be touching upon hardops and boxcutter. Now hardops and boxcutter is an amazing add-on. It helps to ease the insertion of Booleans, and it's a very useful software. Sorry, it's a very useful add-on. And so today we're gonna be starting our first tutorial to boxcutter and hardops. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So we're gonna start off by creating a new file, creating a new. Sorry, I just woke up, so can't even speak. So okay. So the first thing is, how are you going to use hardops and boxcutter? Alright, when you have installed hardops and boxcutter, you will press Alt plus W, or you can go to the, let me just turn on my screencast keys to the center, or you'll just go to a tab over here on the right and you'll go to hardops or boxcutter. So when you'll open up boxcutter, you'll have these very intimidating stuff happening over here. So it's pretty easy once you get used to it, and you will. It's very easy. So here it is. First, if you press D, it will open up a boxcutter menu. So over here we have cut, slice, intersect, inset, join, knife, extract, and make. Then we have some shapes, circle, square, n-gon, and then we have these vertices, snap angle, and you have taper amount, and etc and etc. So what we are going to do first is we are going to remember we press D and we go here, and there are two ways of cutting. One is through object mode and one is through view mode. So if you go through object mode and you select the cube, and remember we chose the square, so then you can just hold the left mouse button, drag it out, leave the left mouse button, and drag it in. So you have a cut like this. Pretty easy, right? Similar thing if you go to a circle and you create a circle and you bring it down, it's gonna create a cut over there. If you create a circle over here, it's gonna create a cut over here. Or if you go here and if you keep the vertices to 6, and then if you open it, then it will have 6 vertices and will cut like this. So let's keep it back to 64 vertices. So next one is n-gon. We're gonna create an n-gon, and while in object mode you can create n-gon cutters. So you basically click, let go of the click, click again, and click where you are confirmed, double click, and this will get a bit of dark red, and you can extrude. It will automatically extrude. Now if you want to extrude it the other way, press E again and it will extrude this way, and then if you press E again, extrude this way. So just in a matter of seconds you can create so many cuts. Alright, the next thing what we're gonna do is the slice tool. We're gonna stick to square now. Okay, what the slice tool does is it creates a separation between these two, and whenever you create some cuts, you press tab and you go to edit mode. Now due to the hardops update, it applies the booleans, but on the slice I've noticed you press Q, left control, sharpen, and if you go to face now, this is a separate object like this. So slice does this, and slice creates different separations like this, as far as my understanding. Okay, so the next thing is the ones that I've learned the most. I'm gonna show you those. The next is Inset. Right now, this is what Inset does. If we scale it on the x-axis to right about here, and we bring this down. Now sometimes the Inset doesn't works, so it's a bug, so you have to, where did, let me see this one more time. Bring it down, you press T, let's just delete this and bring this up. Or maybe if we could just insert it here. So this is what Inset does. It creates a separate, so you have to press Q and left control and sharpen, and then you can play around with the inset that you just created. So these are the basics that you will be using the most. I'm also using slice, cut, and inset, and I'm learning, and I've learned a lot, but I've never used much more except these ones and the knife tool. Now what the knife tool does, let's just select the square. The knife tool creates a separation over here, which you can extrude along faces, and you can play around with it. So that's pretty much it. And the next thing what we can do is we can press D. Let's just delete these guys, and let's create another cube, and let's press D and go into view mode, and then we press tilde and we go to any view. Let's go to the left view. Now what the cutter is going to do is, let's stick to cutter, and if we turn around and we press the middle mouse button and we get out of the view mode and we press E again, so it will cut like this, but only it won't work as in let me just, there we go. It won't work as it did in object view because it's not an object view. You have to go to the right side or any other view that you like. Let's go to the front view or the top view, and then you can create an inset from the orthographic view or the view, whatever view you're in for. And if you select the object view, then you can easily create cuts from wherever you are seeing. It's kind of tough to explain this for me because I'm still learning this, so my deepest apologies, but I learned it like this. So basically you can create a lot of cuts, and easily you can create booleans. Now when you're doing this on the modifiers tab, these booleans will appear here. Now to apply these booleans, you can either apply them from here, or hardops gives you an option. You click the object, press Q, go to mesh tools and apply smart apply. So all of these are applied in here. Let's just go back. Okay, so this is pretty much the box cutter. Let's see, the next thing is snap. So when you're in a Sorry, my mic just went off. So when you were in the snap mode, you can go into object mode. That my mic is still old. So you press Control and then you can select any point. Press Control, hold Control, select any point, and you can click and drag, and you can make an insertion over there. So this is the benefit of snapping, and that seems about it. This is it. This is box cutter, and it's very easy. And you can go into the right view, and you can go into the view. You can select view from here, or you can press D and select view from here. It's the same thing. And this is how n-gons work. You press Control. So notice that this is snapping. Now we can decrease this snapping by going here and decrease it to 5. Now when I'm going to snap, it's gonna snap, you know, to the closest points. So if we do something like this and we extrude it here, it's gonna cut it like this. So n-gons do things like this. I'm sorry if I'm not being able to explain this very, mathematically and very, with all the terms and stuff. I kind of learned it this way, the way that this does this and this does this. So bear with me. I'm not good at explaining, but I'll get good at it. I hope you understand what I'm saying by this point. So this is it. This is basically the box cutter, the way you cut from box cutter. So the next thing, the cool thing that it comes with is let's just skip the view, is the wedge tool. You extrude this in, you press T. No, it wasn't T, it was, yeah, let's go over around this one first. If you extrude this in and you press T, it will solidify it and will give you something like this. And here is the wedge cut. If you extrude in and you press W, it will give you a wedge like cut, and if you press W again, it will switch. So we have something like this. So basically this is how box cutter works. Now another thing is that if you, let's say if you want to make a shape from a place where you have already cut, so you basically select this, pressing Control, you select this, you left click, you let the left click go, and you press A, and when you press A you press E, and as it was wedge cut selected, I'm gonna press W again, and I'm gonna press click, so it's gonna make a square. Now another thing was the make tool. So we're gonna select the make tool, and we can basically make stuff in thin air. You can make this, and so you can make different shapes. You can make different shapes like this. If you select circle, you can make cylinders like this. Alright, the next thing we can do is we can select this, and we're gonna go and we're gonna select the square, and we can go to cut mode, and if we try to cut this and we press B, you can bevel this. You can move your mouse and you can bevel this. You can create a bevel and you can create a chamfer. And if you scroll up, you can increase the vertices, so you have something like this. So that's how box cutter works. So we're gonna select all of this, I'm gonna delete that, and I'm gonna create another cube. Alright, now there are some different types of functions that comes with hardops, and it's really great if you want. Let's go into that's decal machine. If we go into square and we go into view mode and go into right view and create a square, and we double click it. Now let's just create different cuts. Now what if you want to recall this cutter? So what you do is you click on the object, press Q, and click on ever scroll. Now when you scroll up, your cutters will be visible. Now if I want this one, so I'm gonna click this one. So if you want to array this, so one way of doing this is you go here, you click array, and you basically start arraying this way. The other way is you press Q and you go into, where is it, add modifiers, let me see, yeah, and you press array and you bring it here, and if you press scroll up, it's gonna keep arraying it. So that's a cool feature. And if you press X again, it will bring the array on the opposite axis. Press on the Y. Well, right now it's on the X, so it's gonna do it on the X. So this is a cool feature. Alright, and if you want to delete the cutters, you just click on it and you click delete hierarchy. So let's create another cube and let's extrude this out. Now another cool thing is the chamfers. Now if you press shift A, no, if you press D and you go into circle and you create something like this and you bring it inwards like that, and you press Q and you press ever scroll and you click on this, go into face select, you select this face, you press Q and you press control and left click on mark, so you get a reverse chamfer. The geometry is a bit destroyed here, so let's go into object, go inside, press Q, ever scroll, click that, go into face select the face, press Q, left control, so you have a reverse chamfer like this. So it's pretty cool stuff. Now the next thing that is really cool is, let's just delete this, is if we create a cylinder RY90, scale it down, scale on the x-axis, And if we go into edit mode and create some loop cuts, let's create one loop cut, bring it here, and if we press Ctrl B and bring it here, and we press Q and we add a no, it wasn't this one, it was, I'm forgetting. Control Shift, it was Control Shift. So if you press Q and you press left Control and left Shift and left click on macro, you can get something like this very easily. And there was something else, it was curve extract. Yeah, I don't know, I am still learning. So if you go into macro, left control, left shift and click, you can easily get something like this. If you press Q, and you can bring these close. So basically you can create something like this. Alright, the next thing that is amazing is, let's just go and create a cube, and let's go into object mode, and let's just select this cutter, and let's say we cut on this side. Now instead of going and measuring the same exact alignment, I want same thing over here on this opposite side. So what I do is I press Alt X and I click here, and I'll get the same cut over here. So that's cool. So the next thing, if you press Q and you bevel, you can give it a bevel. You can give it a bevel, and you can scroll up for more bevel and scroll down for less bevel. So that's cool. What next? The next thing that is really cool is the radial array. So you can basically create, let me show this. So if we basically click the cube, press Q, go into mesh tools and create a radial array, it will create a radial array like this, and if we scroll up it will give us more, and if we scroll down it will give us less. So that's a cool thing. And the next thing is, if we go into rendered view, and if we bring it down, bring the world settings down, and if we press Q and we click on add lights, it will basically add some lights to it. Let's just add a plane, bring it down, S8, and let's just bring this up for a moment. Let's select our plane and give it metallic, bring this down, let's select this guy, give it the same, and now let's go into world settings and bring this down, and if we press Q and we add lights, and if we scroll up, it would automatically set lights for you in any position that you like. So this is a cool effect that you can do with different lights. Scroll up for different lights and So there you go. So you have a nice well lit area. So this was it. This was the quick guide to, in rough layman terms, that this is boxcutter and this is what it, and these are the most important behaviors of the boxcutter, how you can apply them. So I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope you learned something. I know I'm not good at explaining this stuff, but I'm good at working it, but it's hard for me to explain this stuff. I'm still researching on it, so I'm sorry if I didn't explain it in a better way. So in the next video we are going to make something like this. In the next video we're gonna make something like this, a sort of a spaceship or small Cybertruck, not a Cybertruck but a spaceship like looking thing. It's my first hard surface model that I made by just using my imagination. I've made weapons, but this is the one object that I made just by sketching it out and trying to increase my skills. So this is the one object that I made, and there's a lot of work to be left and a lot of work to be done. So I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, stay frosty. And Frosti-Town signing out.